Welcome to Payrock Wyoming Spotlight on Casper Businesses, where we shine the light on incredible entrepreneurs and businesses that make our community thrive. If you're enjoying these videos, make sure you like and subscribe, but most of all, share them. Today we have an unsung hero of Casper, Wyoming, a friend of mine that I met at the Rotary Club. He's very involved in different nonprofit activities in Casper, Wyoming. Kelly Ivanoff, why don't we get things started with a quick introduction of who you are and what are the things that you're involved in here in Casper.
Eric, thanks for this really cool opportunity to be with you today and the spotlight you put on the local businesses. My name is Kelly Ivanoff. I live here in Casper. I've lived here almost 4 years now, and I own Wyoming Plant Company.
All right. So you're not a native of Casper?
I'm not a native of Casper. I grew up in Cody, graduated from Cody High School, went to school in Spearfish, South Dakota at Black Hill State.
All right.
My wife and I both grew up in the Cody area, and we've been married 36 years now this December 26th.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
great. That's great. So, but you've been in Casper long enough to be a native. I mean,
not native, but no, I've been in. I think I've been in Casper long enough to get a feel for the town. I am super excited to be here. I really enjoy Casper and all that it has to offer. I think it's just a fantastic community.
I couldn't agree more. I feel adopted. I didn't grow up here in Casper. We've been here close almost 2 years, a little over a year and a half, and I feel like a native. I grew up in the Northwest, so this size town definitely feels home. But I think after a time, if you go through your first winter, second winter, then I guess you get your stripes and you're actually an adopted native, and that's definitely how I feel. What is Casper to you? How would you, if there was a visitor that came to town, where would you take them to that would encapsulate who Casper is and what Casper represents? What maybe park or what where would you take them?
Casper to me is a town of endless diversity and opportunity. 2 days after arriving in Casper, my wife and I went and hiked at Rotary Park and the Bridle Trails. And what a really, really neat little park and location and hidden gem here within Casper. That's certainly not the only one. There's opportunities all across the town. But for an outdoor enthusiast, for a social enthusiast, for a person that's looking for exciting things to do and always something new and things on the calendar, Casper just has so much to offer, and we've just had a great time since we've been here.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you speak about the Rotary Park. That's one of the first parks that I went to, and I came to Casper, and ironically, that's how we met as well in the Rotary. We met in the Rotary. How long have you been a part of the Rotary?
So I've been a Rotary now for a little over 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's been just a blessing, and it's so cool to be part of an opportunity to give back to the community.
Absolutely, that's how I feel as well. What initially drew you to the Rotary, and what keeps you coming back week after week to those events?
So the most obvious thing, like I said, when we had the chance to hike Rotary Park, and you see some of the Rotary signs up there, but more it's about how well it's taken care of and maintained. I just thought that was super exciting. Like how cool is it that there's people in this community that give not just Rotarians but public support.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot of dollars to build something like that and to maintain it. So it's a community effort. There's a few people, Rotarians, that are involved in maintaining it. But when I was hiking and I saw the commitment of the community to things that I personally enjoy, I just felt like I needed to be part of that. So shortly after purchasing Wyoming Plant Company, I also joined Rotary and just felt like it was an opportunity to give back.
Absolutely. I think there's a few different clubs, and we're part of one of the clubs. But how many clubs are there here in town?
I'm aware of 3, and so we're both part of Rotary Club of Casper, the largest. There's also the 5 Trails and Reveille. Each cater to a unique opportunity for the various members, given their schedules, to participate in Rotary, and each have their own unique cause that they focus on. The Rotary Club of Casper that you and I have seen has presented opportunities to participate in the community through the parks. And I just really think that's really special.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, you're on one of the committees or on the leadership team of the Rotary?
So I serve on the board as the foundation chair, and I've also participated in for the last 2 years on the Duck Derby community, as well as a number of other ongoing, single opportunities to sort of volunteer with the community.
All right. What is the foundation? What is that? Is that a different aspect of the Rotary?
So the Rotary Foundation, Rotary in general, considers 2 different ways to really serve. The first is through physical volunteer efforts, cleanups, building structures, helping out in various causes in physical ways. The other ways you can really serve is financially.
Right.
And Rotary is their opportunities that they present for shared giving enable people to be touched across the world. The primary cause that Rotary International focuses on is an effort to defeat polio, and remarkable progress has been made. It's kind of frightening to think that polio still exists in the world after a dedicated effort of 50 or 60 years to really attack it. But it's being captured, and it's really on its last leg, and that's largely due to the financial efforts of Rotarians and the committed efforts of doctors and researchers worldwide to really take down the polio virus.
It's encouraging to see the hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not maybe more than that have been donated for the polio solution to eradicate polio from the face of the earth. And
absolutely,
just to see the progress over the years is just it's encouraging, but also humbling to see that those come from everyday guys like you and I, that we're just donating, and Rotary is an international organization as well. Isn't that the case?
That is the case. Yep, it's international. It's in almost every country around the world there are Rotarians. What a fantastic cause! What a fantastically united organization focused on truly giving back.
How do you see Casper's involvement in that? How do we locally engage in what's happening globally with Rotary? Are there things we can do here within the?
Certainly, I think that that's to me one of the really unique aspects of being a Rotarian, is that you can contribute to local causes. The focuses that our club has on parks, the focus that our club has on the citizens of Casper, and the greater community. We've done parks and mills this year, and there's efforts to include Evansville and Bar None. Those are all part of the greater Casper community, and they're not forgotten at all. But to your question, Rotarians can also participate in a variety of international causes around the world. There are opportunities for a single individual to participate or clubs to take on causes in challenged areas.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they're working on a list of all the different things that we've done here in Casper over the past decade or more. What are the things that you remember that you've been a part of, or our club has done over the past decade?
Well, I think the most significant one, and the effort continues, is probably the Crossroads Adventure Park. The construction of that. And then the ongoing maintenance. It is a big effort, and it's amazing. It offers so many things. I think that park was built in the early 2000s, but then here just recently, in the last couple of years, was the addition of the bouldering park. And how cool was that just to be able to go down there and spend time, and really just have a fun, holistic family event
Right.
all in the same location. It's really neat.
Right. It seems like the Rotary's very focused on the social impact that they can have here in Casper locally as well as globally, and I think that's just amazing. And something that comes up regularly in these meetings that I haven't been able to get an answer to is, what is the Paul Harris Award? Because apparently you're involved in attributing that award to certain members. What is that?
So the Paul Harris Award is simply a recognition of the on face value, the dollars that individuals have given to international causes, but it can also be a recognition of efforts in other ways. So club members and clubs can actually share points with individuals that they deem deserving of special recognition. So these points accumulate, and they have various levels. Paul Harris is the founder of Rotary.
Okay.
So the Paul Harris Award recognizes those Rotarians that give back in a variety of ways.
Okay. We can see those plaques on different park benches across town.
Mm-hmm.
There's parks that have a Rotary plaque in front of it, and so it's great. At the same time, one thing that I've noticed is when we go up to the Rotary Park, some of those trails are not always cleared for us to walk, and sometimes there's trees that are fallen that might not be part of Rotary's job description to keep it clean. But how can we get involved in making sure that park that the Rotary established years back stays active and stays available for hikers to enjoy the bridle path or different trails up there? Why is it that it doesn't stay clean, and is there something we can do to improve that?
So I think the initial response is that it's a volunteer effort. So there are no permanently assigned or allocated folks to walk the trail every day, pick up garbage, keep the trail in good order, and those sort of things. That said, there are club members who are very, very interested in the overall maintenance. And when certain things happen and certain times of year, there are organized efforts to go up and maintain the park. You might recall 2 years ago, we had a very large August rainstorm. There were a lot of mudslides. Rock was sliding down and did some extensive damage to the trails, some damage to the support and safety wires and fences that are established up there. Knocked out some of the benches. Volunteers quickly, and within a week, were up there clearing trails, making it in phases reusable. So when I say in phases, the first effort was just get the large trees off the trail and people can navigate the trails again. The next phase was cleaning up some of the trails to get the rock off of it and make it a little more easier to access. The next phase included repairing some of the benches, and we've worked with the State Conservation Corps from time to time to have them go up there and do work that is beyond our scope. What is amazing, I think, Eric, is within our club, the amazing, just generous people who will give not only their time but their resources. We have members that take backhoes and skid steers and very expensive equipment up there, and they donate the use.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing when you consider just some of the generosity of people within our club.
Absolutely, and that's been the case for the Rotary Park on the hill, but also there's been a lot of activities that throughout the year. I remember another gentleman that was spearheading highway side cleanup, and it's amazing how people take time out of their day, out of their busy schedules, because these are all business owners. Some of them are retired, so they maybe have a little more time, possibly. But a lot of these Rotarians that are retired stay very busy with their nonprofit activities. But they take time out of their day and they'll clean up the highway.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is.
I mean, it's just amazing.
It is.
Every year, Hal organizes a group that walks the highways here around town and cleans up the trash on the highways. It's I think they usually do that in May or early June.
Right.
But how cool is that? I
It
mean,
is.
just that they're willing to continually give
Right.
of themselves to make our community better.
Right.
Others, every week 4 or 5 or every month, Guy DeWitt organizes the group to go to Food Bank
That's
of the
right.
Rockies to pack food. And
That is, it's amazing.
5 to 10 people will go and give 3 or 4 hours packing food.
I love that.
It's just cool.
It is. It really is. To be able to have that organization where we can focus on helping the community, giving back, and then whether it's our time or energy or our finances, that generosity that comes out in different ways is just amazing. It's humbling. It's literally humbling because you think we're just another organization that wants to meet and talk about what's happening in Casper, but no, we roll up our sleeves and we're trying to get involved, and that's great.
Well, Eric, I think it's important to sort of, for me to recognize to the longtime residents of Casper, as a new person entering the community, it's obvious that there are so many people in this town that selflessly give back.
You're right.
And that makes a difference. It's
does.
clear. It's obvious. It can be easily seen on a daily basis, and especially for a newcomer. When you sort of arrive, you just know there's something special about Casper.
Absolutely, and it's one of the things I love about this town is that it's small enough that you can almost know everyone. It's still, relatively speaking, but it's still big enough. It's still big enough to have the dynamic life, the vibrancy that a small town would have, and You're absolutely right about the generosity what we see inside the Rotary, but you're absolutely true as well that it's the town, it's Casper, and we saw that together this week when we volunteered for the toy drive, the
Stuff the Van.
Stuff the Van.
Stuff the Van.
I was amazed. I volunteered on a Monday morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, it was 9 to 11, and in that 2-hour period that I was there, people didn't stop dropping off toys for kids, and some of them dropped off the finances. One lady wanted to donate, and I was like, yeah, we can donate. So I went and got the donation bucket, and she put $50 into the bin, and every 20 minutes there was someone bringing either a toy for a boy or a toy for a girl, and that whole table inside that booth where we were working was filled up in 2 hours, and that's just a 2-hour slot, and we've been there all week. We're still there until Saturday evening, but that was amazing to me, just to see the tangible generosity of the citizens of Casper.
We're there 12 hours a day for 6 days this week. It's amazing. The flow of generosity never stops. It's just incredible.
It is, absolutely. I know you're not the only person on the board of the Rotary, but which program have you that you've particularly enjoyed or felt value in, and how would you see that in the future, and what new things would you do? How do you see the future of Rotary? What impacts would you see in the next few years if you had your say, and these are the projects that make the most sense to you? What impact would you see in Casper?
Well, I would not steer us away from the niche and the work that we've carved out in the past. I think that's vitally important to the community. I think there's a continuing need for that. I think that there's going to be maintenance efforts that are going to demand dollars that the city and taxes are not appropriate for. And I think it just takes a village really to kind of take care of folks. So I'm excited that we've got great leadership within the Rotary Club of Casper, that we've got a vibrant membership, that people continue to be excited about giving locally and internationally. Really neat little effort that occurred here recently was Ashley Vondra and Brad Cundy leading the effort to create solar panels to ship to Ukraine to allow them to be able to recharge USB accompanied devices.
Right.
I mean, on the surface, you might say, why in the world in Casper, Wyoming, are we going to do some of these things for folks in Ukraine? Because people here have a big heart, and because the need exists.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's what's neat about the Rotary Club of Casper, is that there are so many opportunities, and they're diverse. They're very broad in terms of what one might expect. If you want to be involved, we've got something for you, and we'll find something that aligns with your passions or your personal interests. You don't have to feel like you're stuck doing something that you maybe didn't. That's not interesting to you.
All right, absolutely. And whether it's a local impact in Casper, or whether it's national, or whether it's international, global, you're absolutely right. There is something for everyone, because the needs are there, and the needs are definitely great.
Yeah.
Something else about you, if our listeners know you, they know that you're also a veteran, that you spent time in the armed forces. First of all, thank you for your service. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to people here in Casper in the United States. Tell us a little bit about that. How long? What branch of the military were you in, and how long were you in for?
So cumulatively, I was in for just around 33 years. I started in the Wyoming National Guard in 1987. I went to college at Black Hills State, as I stated earlier. And while I was there, I joined the Reserve Officer Training Corps and went through ROTC and commissioned a second lieutenant in the field artillery, and went on active duty in 1991. And I was on active duty from 1991 through the summer of 2020.
Okay, all right. Were you stationed the whole time here in the U.S., or were you?
I've
outside?
served almost 4 years in Germany, a number of assignments. For duty-related assignments around the United States, mostly on the Eastern Seaboard, associated with the duties and positions that I held.
How's that shaped you? I know that 33 years is not it's not a reserve for a few weekends a month or something like that, or a few weekends a year. How has that shaped your understanding of life in general? How has that affected your business, your personal life, the Rotary?
I'm grateful to the Army for instilling and reminding me of a requirement to understand some humility and to selflessly give back. Service in any form. I have so much respect for anybody in any service capacity, and that respect is growing daily since I've left service. So it's I'm thankful to the Army for that. That value that's been instilled into me, and I try to pay it back daily.
What are some of the challenges that you think that veterans face when they're trying to reintegrate into civilian life? Because if I'm not mistaken, you're also involved maybe in a formal organization, or maybe it's informal, but you're involved in veterans veterans' lives here in Casper. What are those challenges to reintegrate civilian life, and how can businesses or nonprofits, support that transition?
So I try to, for that question, Eric, I try to stay connected with veterans in a variety of capacities. First, I serve with the Wyoming Veterans Commission to try to address some of the larger systemic sort of situations that veterans may be challenged with. And I also serve on a local nonprofit called Never Forgotten 77, focused on suicide awareness, prevention, and postvention, with a greater emphasis on the postvention piece and folks that are survivors. With regard to the challenges veterans face, it's so incredibly broad and circumstantial. So I think what's important from the Veterans Commission perspective is being able to sort of help folks identify that there are resources available. There's just a wonderful community of various organizations here in Casper and across the state of Wyoming that are interested in helping veterans. But part of what we do is help align those veterans with the best resource to have their needs met.
So is there a way that we can do more to bridge that gap when they try to reintegrate? These organizations are probably doing a great job. From what I hear, you're doing a great job as well, selflessly helping and spending time in hospitals, meeting veterans that are ill or for whatever reason they're at the hospital. What else can be done? How can we get involved, and who should we reach out to be able to get involved?
So there are a variety of organizations. I think that the best way for folks to really help out is to just get the veteran connected with a veteran service organization. I think that's often incredibly difficult. That's a tough step to take. But so many different organizations exist that once we get the veteran in the pipeline or connected with those communities, then we can start sorting out both the need and the best resource to align with. So I would say just encourage the veteran to take a step to contact anybody. I can give you, if it's possible to put my card on the website or on your website and share that just as initial contact information.
Absolutely.
The Wyoming Military Department and the Wyoming Veterans Commission has a website. Google those. Easy to start the search there. Veteran Services officers work around the state on behalf of the veteran to connect them with their veterans benefits and the Veterans Affairs Administration. And then here locally, you've got all the veteran service organizations, the VFW, the American Legion, the Disabled Veterans. The list goes on. But a really super neat aspect that occurs here in Casper that is unique to the state is the Natrona County United Veterans Council, which offers an opportunity once a month for leaders from all of the service organizations to come together, share information, deconflict efforts, align best resources, and serve the veterans of Natrona County. Wow. I mean, it's really super cool that these gentlemen, volunteers, each and every one of them, go out of their way to continue assisting the next generation of veterans.
That's wonderful. We'll definitely reach out. We'll definitely put your card on the different pages, different places that we can on social media to get the word out, how they can either financially give or to volunteer if that's possible as well. But we'll do that. Last but not least, you started a business. Business Spotlight, Payrock's Business Spotlight. You started a business a couple years back. When did you open Wyoming Plant Company, and how did that come about?
To clarify, I didn't necessarily start a business. I bought it. And secondly, a big shout out and great commendation to the previous owner, who was the founder, Tom Heald. He, an entrepreneurial mind that saw a need and built a wonderful business focused on a specific customer and a great mentor. He did wonderful things in the training that he offered me for the 6 months that I worked for him before purchasing the business.
Okay.
To really assist. And I grabbed Tom's philosophy, the business philosophy, and the focus on serving the customer, and have really tried to maintain that throughout.
Why did you decide to work for him for 6 months before buying it?
Being a retired Army guy, I was bored sitting around my house, so I was looking for something to do, and I really just wanted to get back to an old hobby and passion. When I graduated from college, I graduated with a biology degree that for 30 plus years I didn't use. I had some wonderful role models and just beautiful human beings who were my professors in college. They inspired not only a passion but a deep interest, not only in the biological sciences but specifically within the plant sciences. it's not owning a retail garden center was not probably anything I'd ever dreamed of.
Right.
And certainly never steered myself towards. But what a what a just amazing opportunity. And I've just been so blessed. It's been wonderful.
Is it what you expected when you bought it?
Oh, everything. I mean,
Yeah.
there's certainly curveballs that you don't anticipate, but I've had nothing but just a complete blast in the 3 years I've been associated with the store.
That's great. That's great. You said customer service, but what I've noticed when I've been there, because I've been in your shop a few times, is that customer service mentality is equally for your employees. You treat them as a customer in the sense of trying to help them, trying to meet their needs to a certain extent. How do you think your business model, and sometimes it's hard to analyze our business models, but how do you think your business model is different than someone else's? I mean, do you try to do things? Do you have a focus that you're trying to accomplish there as a businessman?
I do, Eric, and I appreciate the question. As an owner, I have 3 goals, 3 primary objectives. I'm not sure the best category to label them as, but I have really 3 objectives, I guess, on any given day. The first is to take care of the customer in every single way, whether that's price, knowledge, service, just being friendly. They're number one, and they enable the business to stay in operation. However, the business can't stay in operation without just wonderful help. We have our team. A couple of the members of the team have been with the store almost 6 years. They're phenomenal. They're great people. They're deeply interested in plants in general and the customers we serve. So my objective number 2 is to take care of the employee in all the ways that a family might look after one another. And then my third objective is simply to become a responsible member of the community. And I think that's they all go hand in hand, but they're deeply interconnected. So the connection between all 3 of those really is the plant. And I find that plants are beneficial to our mental health. It's really hard to be angry when you're walking around green foliage all summer long. It's super hard. Right. I've tried. It's hard to be angry when you're surrounded by just plants. They serve an important role in preserving our mental health, and for that's one of our social aspects. Is one of the reasons I'm involved with Never Forgotten 77, and it's also one of the reasons we pay attention to that social component of who we are and what we do. Right. So take care of the customer, take care of the employee, and be a responsible community member.
And I share those values for myself as well. I think that we don't have to just focus on profit and focus on the monetary side of business. Obviously, that's important. It cannot be neglected. But I think we can do good at the same time of making money. I think both can go hand in hand, and when we focus on the community as well, I think that really puts roots down in what we're trying to accomplish. We're not there just to make another buck, to be another company, but we're trying to be an active member, an active participant, active person in this community. So I do think that's important. How has the military shaped that as well? Has it shaped it at all?
I think some of the it sort of starts with being community minded, right? And being overall aware that there's more to life than just me, and there's more to life than just Wyoming Plant Company. There's just so much going on anywhere at any time, that I think it's the community or the military. My 30 years of service helped provide awareness to some of that, and helped me become just maybe a little bit more sympathetic, a little bit more empathetic, and just and have greater awareness that it's not about the dollar. It's about how you interact with people, how you take care of people, and how you contribute to that greater community.
Absolutely. I think that sometimes profit can be just a byproduct of what we're trying to accomplish. And I think obviously both need to be analyzed. We need bookkeepers. We need financial people in our structures and our businesses. But making money is a byproduct of the impact I think we can have in this community.
Sure.
I believe that. When did you say that you purchased Wyoming Plant Company?
The fall of 2021.
Okay. So
we were in Casper a year, just a little over a year when I purchased the business.
Okay. So were we still in the COVID, quote unquote, lockdown,
I think
restrictions?
No, there were no restrictions in Casper that I was aware of at the time. COVID was certainly still going on. I think in the greater national COVID window, we were probably within that. But
okay. So it didn't affect your business too much?
No, I don't think so.
Right. Okay. All right. And since your purchase, have you kept the same team the entire time? How has employee retention been a focus for you over that period?
It's been incredibly important, primarily because of the talent of the folks that are there. I think it's very natural for a seasonal business to have some turnover, but the core leadership that was part of the team, I'm super thankful that they were. How much trust does it take for them to roll the dice on me, a new guy that they worked with for 3 months, 4 months, and say, "Wow, we've been with the previous owner for a while. Can we trust this new guy? Is he willing to take care of us? Is he willing to listen to us? Is he willing to have our interest, be considered?" I'm super, super thankful to them for taking the chance. They didn't have to. Wonderful people, and that core team is still together.
Sounds like a great place to work, and you do have a great team as well. I've met most of them, and they're definitely a great team for you. That's for sure. Where do you see the next 10 years of Casper? What are your predictions for this for the community that we live in?
Predictions are hard. I will just say I'm very, very excited. The vibrancy that's in the town right now equates to momentum, and I think momentum is really tough to change once it starts rolling. So for the next 10 years, I am so excited for what's on the horizon. I think there's opportunities for folks. I think that there will be, we probably need only to look at the Wyoming Sports Ranch as an example of just courage, financial courage, emotional courage to even attempt to put that together. But then, wow, the give back on that to the community. What an attraction that's going to be. What an opportunity for businesses around Casper.
Absolutely.
What a remarkable, wonderful, beautiful thing for the youth of our community to spend time in a facility of that caliber. There's so much to be excited about.
Absolutely.
So much to be excited about. And I don't think it takes much of a leap of faith to say the next 10 years of Casper and probably the next 50 years of Casper, there's just a remarkable opportunity here.
I would definitely agree, and I think it goes back to, again, the Casperites, the people of Casper doing that. And one thing that, with Wyoming Sports Ranch that struck my attention is their goal is not to create an island, up there by the event center, but purposely not trying to create businesses that will or bring in businesses that'll take away from the local businesses here in town. And that's one of the things that they brought up at the Rotary Club when they were explaining their vision for the sports complex up there, or the ranch, is that the purpose is not to have things like restaurants or other businesses that would keep people up on the hill, but not to pull or drain from the economy of Casper. That's generosity, because they didn't have to do that. They didn't. They could have made an island on a self-sufficient sports facility that people would stay there with hotels and restaurants and things like that, and then no one would ever have to leave there. But they didn't. They want Casper to thrive. So, and that's the purpose of these podcasts, is to bring the movers and shakers, the entrepreneurs, the business people of Casper, and shed a spotlight on what they're doing. So thank you, Kelly, for joining us. Where can they find you? You're on Ash, is that right? South
We're
Ash?
at 358 South Ash is the store. Yep.
Okay. And you have a website as well?
Yes, we do.
Wyoming Plant Company.
WyomingPlantCompany.com. One word.
And we'll also put your business card for people to contact you about getting involved with the veterans work here in Casper as well.
Super,
so
thank you.
Thanks for joining us. Please make sure to like and subscribe. But most importantly, beyond all that, share this, because I invite people on this podcast because I know their stories are worth listening to. And so if you share that, someone will hear the story and be inspired by who Kelly is. Thanks. Thank you very much.